The message from my mother came in on Thursday morning. Subject: Alex's graduation weekend final plans. Rachel, we're thrilled about Alex finishing medical school this Saturday. We've secured seats together, Dad, me, Aunt Caroline, Uncle Tom, and Grandma. Unfortunately, seating in the auditorium is limited, and we were only able to get 6 tickets in our section. Since you've been struggling with fatigue lately, we thought you might be more comfortable watching the ceremony via live stream from the hotel. That way you can rest and avoid the crowd. We'll all celebrate at dinner afterward. Love, Mom. I read it 3 times. My hands trembled. Not from hurt feelings, but from the muscle weakness that had become my constant companion over the past 8 months. My younger brother Alex was graduating from Cornerstone Medical School, finally delivering on our parents' lifelong dream of having a physician in the family. 4 years, every holiday and Sunday dinner had centered around him. Exams, rotations, residency applications. Mom kept a countdown on the fridge. Dad had already ordered business cards proudly labeling himself father of Dr. Alexander Chin. 18 months earlier, when I first noticed symptoms, overwhelming exhaustion, muscle weakness, trouble swallowing, I blamed stress. I worked long hours as a biotech researcher. Burnout felt logical, but it escalated. I began stumbling. My speech blurred at the edges. My hands shook so badly I couldn't grip a mug. After months of testing, specialists finally named it myasthenia gravis, an autoimmune disorder disrupting communication between nerves and muscles. I tried explaining it over dinner one night. It's autoimmune. My immune system is attacking my neuromuscular junctions. I'm starting immunotherapy. Alex barely looked up from his phone. Probably psychosomatic. Conversion disorder. You're stressed. Your body's translating it into symptoms. Happens all the time. I've seen 6 neurologists. The antibody panels. False positives exist, he cut in. First-year med school stuff. Half these vague autoimmune cases are anxiety. My parents sided with him. Alex would know, Dad said gently. Maybe try yoga? After that, it became Rachel's fatigue phase. When I needed a cane during a flare, Alex told relatives I was exaggerating. When I missed his white coat ceremony because I was hospitalized during a myasthenic crisis, he texted. Nice guilt tactic. What they didn't know, what I stopped trying to share, was that my case had drawn serious medical attention. My neurologist, Dr. Patricia Morgan, specialized in complex autoimmune neuromuscular diseases. My presentation was atypical enough that she invited me into a research study focused on treatment-resistant myasthenia gravis. That study partnered with Cornerstone's neurology department. My anonymized medical file had been integrated into their 4-year curriculum as a teaching model for complex disease management. Your case is educating medical students, Dr. Morgan mentioned once. You're shaping future doctors, possibly even your brother. She wasn't just my neurologist. She was also the dean of Cornerstone Medical School. Alex had spoken about her before. She's giving the commencement speech. Intimidating woman. Everyone's scared of her. I never corrected him. I reread Mom's email. Watch from the hotel. Too tired for crowds. I responded. I'll arrange my own seating. See you Saturday. Then I called Dr. Morgan's office. Her assistant sounded cheerful. Rachel. Ready for Saturday. For Saturday. The ceremony. Dr. Morgan reserved you a faculty seat. She wants you present during the research recognition segment. Your case study is part of the Neurology Excellence presentation. My breath caught. She's discussing it at graduation? Yes, anonymized, of course. It highlights how careful listening to patients changes outcomes. We've arranged accessible entry, faculty seating, and mobility accommodations. The things my family had apparently deemed too inconvenient. On Saturday morning, I took my medications, immunosuppressants, cholinesterase inhibitors, steroids, and dressed slowly in a navy dress that concealed the tremor in my hands. I brought my cane. Not because I always required it, but because experience had taught me to plan for reality. I arrived early. The faculty entrance included ramp access and reserved parking. Dr. Morgan greeted me inside, composed and reassuring. Rachel, I'm glad you're here. How are you today? Stable. Minimal drooping. Tremors manageable. Good. You're seated in the second row with the neurology department chair. During my address, I'll be speaking about the importance of believing patients, especially when symptoms don't fit neatly into textbooks. Your case will illustrate what happens when persistence replaces dismissal. For the first time in months, my hands weren't shaking from weakness. They were steady with something else entirely. Recognition. A brief shadow crossed Dr. Morgan's face. Your brother is graduating today. I didn't realize you were related until I reviewed the seating list and recognized your last name. Is there something I should understand? He doesn't believe I'm actually sick, I said evenly. He's told people I'm pretending for attention. My family couldn't fit me into their section, so they suggested I watch from the hotel. Her jaw set, professionalism sharpening into something firmer. You have a seat in the faculty section. That invitation stands, regardless of anyone else's preferences. The auditorium filled quickly. I spotted my family halfway back. Mom radiant, Dad proud, relatives dressed for celebration. None of them glanced toward the faculty rows. There was no reason for them to. The graduates entered in white coats layered over pressed suits and dresses. Alex stood out immediately, tall, composed, flashing that confident smile. 4 years complete. Today he would officially become Dr. Alexander Chin. After the anthem and opening remarks, Dr. Morgan stepped to the podium. Graduates, families, colleagues, today honors your years of discipline and sacrifice. You've mastered physiology and pharmacology, but the most vital skill in medicine isn't found in a textbook. It is listening. A slide illuminated behind her. A quote from William Osler. Listen to your patient. He is telling you the diagnosis. In your careers, you'll encounter patients whose symptoms don't align neatly with what you expect. You will feel the urge, because you are human, to simplify what you don't immediately understand. To label it anxiety. To call it exaggeration. To dismiss. The room was utterly still. Our neurology department studied a case this year. A 32-year-old woman with progressive muscle weakness, fatigue, swallowing difficulty, intermittent eyelid drooping. Early signs were subtle, easy to attribute to stress. But she persisted. She knew her body. My pulse thundered in my ears. In the third row, Alex scribbled notes as if this were routine. After months and multiple consultations, she was diagnosed with myasthenia gravis. The delay occurred partly due to atypical presentation, and partly because several providers dismissed her symptoms as psychological. One trainee even told family members she was fabricating her illness for sympathy. Alex's pen froze midair. That patient is here today. Her anonymized case has advanced our curriculum. Her participation in research has contributed to published studies and improved treatment approaches nationwide. Dr. Morgan's gaze lifted toward the faculty section. Rachel Chin, would you stand? The world seemed to narrow. I rose carefully, steadying myself with my cane as hundreds of faces turned. Rachel's determination to seek answers despite dismissal likely prevented life-threatening complications. Her story is a reminder that patients are not inconveniences to be explained away. They are partners in care. Applause broke like a wave. When I sat, my legs trembled for reasons beyond muscle weakness. Across the auditorium, my mother's face had drained of color. My father stared, stunned. Relatives leaned into one another in hushed confusion. Alex had turned completely around in his seat, eyes locked on me, disbelief written across his face. Dr. Morgan continued, her voice firm. This leads to a serious matter. During our final review process, we were made aware that a member of this graduating class repeatedly told others that a documented autoimmune diagnosis was fabricated. This student dismissed verified medical findings and discouraged family members from taking the condition seriously. A ripple of tension spread through the crowd. Medicine demands knowledge, but also humility and respect. A physician who disregards evidence, who labels illness as performance without basis, risks real harm. She paused. The Hippocratic Oath begins with a simple directive: do no harm. A student who has demonstrated behavior that contradicts this principle has further work to do before earning the privilege of that oath. Alex's shoulders sagged. Effective immediately, 1 diploma will be withheld pending review by the ethics committee. The student will complete additional training in medical ethics, patient advocacy, An autoimmune disease recognition before eligibility for graduation is reconsidered. The individual has been informed and will meet with me after this ceremony. Silence swallowed the auditorium. Then whispers spread like wine through dry leaves. Students glanced around trying to identify the unnamed graduate. I didn't need to guess. And judging by the way Alex had gone pale, neither did he. Dr. Morgan stepped back from the podium, the weight of her words hanging heavy in the air. Dr. Morgan closed her speech with the traditional words about medicine's honor and the weight of responsibility every physician carries. The program moved on. More scholarships announced, more honors awarded, rows of students crossing the stage. Then they reached Alex's name. There was a slight hesitation before Dr. Morgan spoke. Alexander Chin, degree pending ethics review. A murmur rippled through the audience. Alex stepped forward to uneven, uncertain applause. No diploma folder waited in her hands. He shook Dr. Morgan's hand stiffly and exited the stage from the far side, his expression hollow. When the ceremony ended, the room exploded into confused chatter. My family hurried toward the faculty section. Mom reached me first, tears already falling. "Rachel, you were the patient she talked about. The case study. All this time." "Yes. And Alex told everyone you were pretending. He told us that." Her voice cracked. "They're holding his diploma because of what he said about you." Dad looked shaken. "We didn't realize. We didn't understand how serious it was. We thought you were just exhausted. We thought. You thought Alex was the authority because he was in medical school," I finished quietly. "So when he said I was exaggerating, you believed him. Even with 6 specialists confirming my diagnosis. You recommended yoga instead of listening." Aunt Caroline wiped her eyes. "You were seated with the faculty. You're part of their research. Why didn't you tell us?" "I tried," I said. "Over and over. But I wasn't the future doctor. I was just the daughter with fatigue." Alex approached then, flanked by Dr. Morgan and another administrator. He stopped several steps away, unable to meet my gaze. Dr. Morgan's tone was firm. "Mr. Chin, this is the moment you referenced earlier." Alex swallowed. "Rachel, I was wrong. Completely. Your illness is real. I accused you of faking. I ignored medical evidence. I let my ego override your reality, and I persuaded our family to doubt you. You told people I wanted sympathy," I replied, my hands trembling but my voice steady. "You said that while training to become a doctor. What kind of physician dismisses a patient because it's easier?" "A reckless one," he said quietly. "I'm not ready to graduate." Dr. Morgan addressed my parents. "Your son must complete 60 hours of medical ethics coursework, spend a month in our neurology clinic, and submit a research paper examining diagnostic bias and patient dismissal. He will also formally acknowledge the harm caused by discouraging family support for Rachel's treatment." My mother sobbed openly. My father looked stunned. "And I strongly advise your family to attend education sessions on chronic illness support," Dr. Morgan added. "Rachel should never have faced her health crisis without belief from her own household." She turned to me. "Rachel, your involvement in our research has always been voluntary and invaluable. Today was about reinforcing a lesson for future physicians. You've given them something textbooks cannot." In the months that followed, Alex fulfilled every requirement. He shadowed Dr. Morgan in neurology clinics, sitting in on consultations with patients whose symptoms were complicated and easily dismissed. He wrote candidly about arrogance, confirmation bias, and the damage caused by medical gaslighting. He attended my infusion sessions, watching firsthand what myasthenia gravis looked like beyond clinical definitions. Half a year later, we met for coffee. He seemed changed, quieter, more thoughtful. "My diploma was released yesterday," he said. "They're holding a small ceremony for the few of us who graduated late. Congratulations. I don't feel like celebrating. I almost became the kind of doctor who harms people without realizing it." He met my eyes. "You were truly struggling and I called you a liar. I've chosen family medicine. I want to be the doctor who listens when others don't." "That's a start," I said. "It doesn't undo what I did." "No," I agreed. "But you can make sure someone else doesn't go through it." Our family rebuilt slowly. They came to appointments. They learned about immunotherapy and flare management. Mom joined a support group for families of people with myasthenia gravis. Dad began volunteering at autoimmune research fundraisers. The biggest shift, though, was simple. They believed me. When I said I was having a rough day, they didn't question it. When I explained medications, they asked informed questions. When I needed my cane, they adjusted without commentary. Eventually, Alex began his residency. He sent me a photo of his new white coat. Alexander Chin, MD. Pinned above his name was a small purple ribbon, the symbol for myasthenia gravis awareness. His message read, "For the person who first taught me that listening isn't optional in medicine, it's everything." He was changing. They all were. And for the first time since my diagnosis, I wasn't carrying this alone.